When I'm in a project as this one, all my pages have drawing headers or title blocks or whatever you call them. Simply some blocks, some symbols here that contain a lot of data about the project. And in this video I'll guide you through how you use the drawing headers and how you make your own drawing headers. First I'll go to this page which is blank, and I can select a drawing header by going to the page data, and then I can go down here and say I want to have a drawing header on this page. When I have it here, I can simply click OK and put it here, and then it's placed, and it's placed exactly the right way and the right spot. When I place it here, I had this coming up here saying state. I can go in and select for each page the state that it has on the page, and the page's state, you could say, and that could for instance be approved, and then I could add a watermark to this. This watermark is part of the page header, or the title block drawing header, and how to make that I will show you that later in the video, but that's one of the things. Another thing is that all the data that I have here in the title block, they come from either this project data here, and project data could be something like the project number, the customer name, address, all different kinds of project related data that you want to have in the title block. You can have a lot more project data than what you have in the title block, but it comes from here because it's something that belongs to the project. Logos is one of the data that comes, and if you want to select a logo, simply go out and find it, select logo, and then you can browse through your libraries on your computer. And I can place two different logos here, but project data is one kind of data that belongs in a drawing header. Another is page data, and they come from here. I have some basic data fields here. If I want to have more data fields or other data fields in my drawing header, I could go in and simply add new data fields, and then I could edit my data my drawing header and place those data fields in them. And that's what I'm going to show you now. When I go in, I'll just deselect it first, because when I go in and have a page like this, the first thing that you should know is that when you make a drawing header, the drawing header has a certain size. It must fit to the paper that you're going to use it for. My drawing headers are going to fit on A3 piece of paper, because that's a piece of paper, size of paper that I'm drawing on. And in order to know the exact size, I could go up here in settings, pointer screen, and say I want to have a help frame. This help frame tells me the exact size of my drawing header if it was going to be printed on A3 piece of paper. So this would be the size of my drawing header if I was going to make it from the very beginning. But what I actually do in my projects is that I draw on A3 piece of paper, yes, but I print on A4 piece of paper. And that's the reason why my drawing header fits to this, because here is where I'm going to have my punched holes, whereas if, I think it's easier to see here, whereas if I was going to print on A3 paper, then my punched holes would be here. So this help frame doesn't really help me when I'm going to make my drawing header design. But, and that's what I'm going to use here now, if I open one of my existing drawing headers, and I'll use this A3 basic, because that's a basic drawing header, I can go in, right click and say edit symbol. Then this help frame is important, because exactly where the help frame and my drawing header cross, I need to place my reference point. You remember the reference point from one of the first videos. It must be here, because in this way you make sure that the program places the drawing header exactly the right place. So that's what you can use this hint frame for. But I think I'll just disable it, because otherwise I have too many lines to see here. When I go into my drawing header then and see what does it consist of, it consists of, as you saw earlier, all my data fields, they're here. I just need to click to text here. This is a data field, customer name. It comes from project data. Another one could be page title. It comes from page data. So all my data fields come from those two sections, either project data or page data. They were the ones that you saw earlier, project data, page data, in the project. And they're simply placed here and aligned, and I also have some text properties, which can be something like the font and the size and the color and the alignment, of course. And they are placed in here in a grid that I made out of lines that for some they are a little thicker than others, and some are thin. You can see them here. And then I made a grid that suits whatever I find fit for this drawing header here. And all my text are aligned and placed here. Free text as a header for each data field, and then the data field itself. The only data field that could be a little tricky is the ones that I have here. They are the logos. The logos, as you saw, I selected them in project data. I selected a JPEG or a BMP file or another picture file. And what I have is the project data field logo 1 or 2, and then I have the text settings for it, and that's where I decide the size of it. And I only decide the font height, not the font, but the height of this one, and then the file itself will simply fit from this corner, and then everything will be okay. The only thing that you have to make sure when you select your logo file is that it hasn't got a lot of white area around it, so trim it to make it fit into the file, otherwise it will not look very good when you select it as a logo in here. Then the last thing that I want to show you is that as you saw, I have all those states in here. I could go in, because I simply use the same state to layer function as you saw in one of the other videos. I have a state here called approved, for instance. So here I have a text which is invisible because I have this color, which is called NP, which means not print. And it's placed here. I have another text, could be rejected. That one is red because then it's very visible. And if I wanted to have more states to my drawing header, simply follow the same process as you saw in the video about states to layers. So this is what a drawing header consists of: lots of lines, text and data fields, and then those states to layers. So hope that you can make your own drawing header that fits with whatever you want to be. And when you save the symbol, you should save it as a symbol of the normal type.